It's no surprise I like fighting games, and I tend to judge each character based on about how much their gameplay resembles an Age of Empires 2 match. Collecting resources, making snappy decisions, woolulu. But what's a better word for that? Micromanagement. And for our first example, let's start with the one that's most similar to the average Age of Empires 2 player.
Children die! Children die!
Children die! Children die!
Jacko from Guilty Gear is just an insanely crazy character concept. I mean, you have to manage actual civilizations mid-match while you're fighting a girl with a yo-yo. This game is insane. The basic idea is that she can put down houses either in the air or on the ground, and slowly as these little dudes, these little guys, walk out of the buildings and do damage, after a while the little guys will get better weapons and they can do more damage, or eventually they can get the staff, which is actually one of the best anti-air options in the game, coming out of this little dude. I mean, Jacko's core gameplay loop resembles something closer to a game of Simpsons Tapped Out than an actual fighting game.
Alright guys, this is my city. This is Donut Homer. And there's this and thank you for watching.
And it's a true blessing to society that Simpsons Tapped Out isn't the only game where you can control Homer Simpson. We also have Rivals of Ether, a game which, if you've been watching my Twitch, you've known that I've been actually very interested in the competitive modding scene. Which are two words not commonly used together. But when they are, I can't describe it with any word other than wacky. You see, the character I picked the most is the Monopoly Man. It was between him, Goku, and Minecraft Steve. I mean, he's the obvious pick here. Monopoly Man is very intrinsically an odd character, and I can't believe I'm going to say this. He is actually loyal to the source material, which is something lots of mods struggle to do with characters that aren't, based on a board game. I mean, since when does Mario do this? Come on, try harder. But unfaithful adaptations aside, Monopoly Man is actually a perfect showcase for one of the two types of micromanagement characters in fighting games. Monopoly Man is a resource character, which means he collects resources and lots of his moves are reliant on having or not having that resource. And for Monopoly Man, that resource is money! And most of his attacks either outright require at least like 10,000 of it, or get substantially buffed when you have a lot of it. But how do you get money, you may ask? Well, first of all, I was going to tell you anyway, so you really didn't need to ask, but I mean, participation is appreciated. Because you asked, you put houses down, and that passively generates money. Just like Monopoly. Well, not actually, just like Monopoly. It was just like Monopoly. It'd be like, if they touched it, you get tons of money, but that'd be like super lame. But practically, Monopoly Man can spend $50,000 of his own money to build a house. And then once he gets $1 million, he can turn that house into a hotel, and then $3 million, he can turn it into a bank, and each one passively generates more and more and more money. And once you have a cozy amount of about $3 million, you can take all of the money that you put in the bank out of the bank by, quite literally, making the market crash. What was this, made in 2008? I don't know. So essentially the gameplay loop boils down to you putting down a house, you get a lot of money, you take all the money out of that asset, and then you do a back air or something. And actually, fun fact, except for that last part, that was actually just a Gary Vee speech, so, get pwned. But yeah, the character is actually surprisingly fun. I put 27 hours in this game, 20 of them are probably with him, the other 7 probably with like Master Chief or something. But I really think a character like Monopoly Man would only work in a platform fighter. Hey, you know what else is a platform fighter? Steve is a hotly debated topic in Smash Ultimate, mostly because, well, he's just broken. But I think the way Nintendo incorporated both types of micromanagement into his kit is actually a really good lesson on how to make a good micromanagement character. I'm sure you all know his moveset like the back of your hand, but if you don't, basically Steve can mine. And as he mines, he gets better and better resources. He can either use those resources to make moves like minecarts or anvils, blah blah blah, or he can use it to upgrade his tools, which do either more damage or have better frame data. This both makes Steve completely unbeatable against characters like Jigglypuff, who tend to like to keep you away from them, because Steve just benefits from being away from you. He gets more time to upgrade his moveset. I mean, it's really a win-win. But it also means Steve has a horrible time against lots of characters like Ryu and Sonic who tend to rush down and just get you in long strings of combos and stuff. He doesn't have any time to upgrade his moveset, is stuck with wooden tools, no anvils, no nothing. Steve is just a really cool character, so stay mad, Onin's peak. So far, we haven't talked about the level up characters much, and who's a better example of a level up character than Goku? Well, not specifically Goku, more like every character in Fighter Z. You see, characters can go Super Saiyan, and although this acts as a resource because most of the powerful moves consume 1 or 2 bars, you can also just go Super Saiyan, which, I'm gonna be honest, just gets countered by switching your character and using assists. But this mechanic is very cool and really faithful to DBZ, much like the rest of the game. The only thing it's really missing is like the Saiyan Walk or something. Daddy, do the Saiyan Walk! Holy shit.